Bushcraft 101, page 198, that it takes a lot less gear carried to accomplish, and setup time is minimal once you own the skills. You can set a trap line of 20 traps in a matter of an hour once you are familiar with the system and used to doing it. This takes practice and dirt time, just like any other skill, but it is as important an ability as fire starting or shelter building. Triggers. The most important thing to learn in simple primitive trapping is one trigger system that can be adapted to many traps. In this way, you can pre-make several snares and adjust triggers and traps on the fly to fit the situation. A simple toggle trigger is all you need to set a variety of traps that will catch all small game, as well as birds and even fish for bank line sets. It is much better to be familiar with a few traps that employ this simple trigger than to have some knowledge of many complicated traps that require time and energy to employ. Carving complicated components takes time and much thought as well as adjustment to make them right, whereas straightforward toggles are just that simple, and many of these traps can be made using no tools at all. For complicated trap you can set many simple traps and obtain the same or better results. Bushcraft tip. Many people overcomplicate primitive trapping. Trapping is very simple to understand. Any trap that effectively holds or kills an animal is all you need. I have traveled all over the world, and tribal people who are still hunter-gatherers have shown me that simple traps employing a simple toggle trigger are the best all-around trap to use for securing meat, and the ones they use every day for small mammals and birds. The KISS, which means keep it simple and sensible, method works for trapping. Page 199. Deadfall traps. Deadfall traps have been employed for centuries, most often used on smaller game such as ground squirrels, mice, and larger rodents. Deadfall traps can be used with the same toggle trigger system used for snare traps. This is called the Paiute deadfall, after the desert Paiute Indians, who used it quite frequently. Deadfall traps need to be 5 times heavier than the prey to be killed. The trap will crush the prey. However, that does not mean the animal will be instantly killed. It may suffocate over time. You can add combinations such as a cubby set. Cubby sets are small holes like pockets sets, sometimes used at the base of a tree or log. They are built over a deadfall trap to add weight to the trap and help disguise it to make it more effective. Traditional Paiute deadfalls employed large rocks as the killing device. You can adapt this trap to woodland areas using logs or the previously mentioned cubby set. Other deadfall traps for medium animals can be easily fashioned to employ larger logs by building a simple frame, yet using the same toggle trigger. These traps are limited only by your personal ingenuity. The main disadvantage to the trap system is the availability of component parts depending on where you are and the time needed to build them. Bird traps. Bird traps can employ the same snare and toggle system previously discussed, or they can be cage traps deployed to catch the bird alive, conserving it for later use. Many cage traps are used for smaller birds, but larger birds and waterfowl are better trapped using other methods, as discussed in the preceding sections. Cage traps work well for ground-dwelling birds such as quail, grouse, and pheasant. They can also be used for small perching species such as mourning doves and turtle doves. End of page.